with this difficult and creative sport, competing in solos, duets, figures, team and free combination. Medals to be won in every final. It's going to be very exciting indeed. 180 athletes from 23 member federations, all aged between 13 and 15 for females and up to 16 for the males. Today we start with 3 preliminaries in women's solo. 20 athletes competing. The aim will be to qualify in the top 12, but to do that they also need to perform well in the compulsory figures, which take place tomorrow. Scores will be combined for the top 12. I'm Andrea Holland and delighted to be taking you through all of the action today. It's going to be the first European Youth Championships with the new rules, and the apnea rules will be included this time as well, so limits to how much they can be underneath the water. The new rule came in this year to make sure that they weren't underwater for more than 58% of the routine, but there is 3 seconds leeway. It's all about safety of the athletes, but also to encourage more artistry into the performance as well. France will certainly be hoping to repeat their success from 2022 when they won 5 golds, 2 silvers and a bronze. The reigning world youth champion from France is competing here today and will be swimming last. So the draw has been done. The stage is set. The judges are in place and we're ready to go. So we have the judges, 2 panels in total, 1 panel looking at the elements, so they will give a score for each of the 6 hybrids. On the artistic side, that panel give 3 scores. The choreography, the musicality, that is a combination for 1 score. Then you have the overall presentation that the athlete gives, how much she pulls the audience and the judges into the performance. And then the transitions, how it all weaves together. On top of that, we have difficulty technical controllers. So each of the coaches has completed a card for an assigned degree difficulty for the routine. The difficulty technical controllers check that card to make sure that the routine is swam exactly as it is written down. If it isn't, for the hybrids, then that means a reduction to a base mark on an element where they didn't perform it correctly. So for example, if the difficulty is, say, worth a 5 for a particular element and they do something wrong, then it will reduce to a 0.5. And that can make a huge difference when you think that the element score is multiplied by that degree of difficulty. But very much hoping that the story of the day won't be about base marks and that we'll see some incredible performances today. As the officials for the day are introduced. Judith Vizi is the referee over the next 4 days. Very important role, assisted by Yael Rybicek. So they will have the final decision in the case of any disputes, and they have the final decision on pretty much the whole competition. This European Youth Championships is also combined with the Komen Cup as well, as the element judges are introduced. 5 in total, and as I say, they just look at the 6 hybrids and give a score for each one. The artistic impression judges, they give the 3 scores: choreography, musicality combined, the transitions, and the overall presentation. And this came in with the new rules last year. The difficulty technical controllers looking at that assigned degree difficulty to make sure that every single movement within the hybrids has the correct amount assigned to it. And within those hybrids, we're talking about rotations, we're talking about flexibility, airborne weights, so static moves as well, and also high thrusts as well. Good to get as much variety into the performance as possible, in addition to getting the difficulty that the athlete is able to cope with, not pushing it too high. As we look at the start list, 20 athletes competing today. What an honor for Joanna Karb from Germany. She is leading the way, the first competitor at this European Artistic Swimming Championships. A special moment for her. The 14-year-old, her theme is Desire, the music, Ophelia. They would be aiming to get the knees out above the surface of the water. Nice presentation. A very difficult flexibility move. Very nice performance there from Joanna Karb. She started with a degree difficulty of 19.45, so that is what we want to see when the scores come up. That means that she hasn't got any base marks, and she did do it exactly as per the coach's card. She chose this music as Ophelia comes from ancient Greece, and it means the winner. And she's very much hoping that will be a good omen for her. The German youth champion, solo, duet, team and combo. So only 14 years of age, but has always had great success. So many congratulations to her. Coached by Barbara Liegel. Choreography by Marlene Boyer. Many of you will know that name if you follow artistic swimmer. She has done incredibly well over the years, Marlene Boyer. Retired just a short while ago. So now they're in what we call the kiss and cry area while they await to see what the judges thought of their performance. So you will see a score for elements and a score for artistic impression, and then the difficulty to make an overall score. Overall in the performance, I thought that her movements were very fluid. She did get some good explosive height, particularly on some of the head, when the head came out first. A few times I thought maybe there was a little bit lacking in energy as she was lying on her back. She was almost waiting to go into the next hybrid. And it's important for all athletes to remember that when you're lying on your back, of course the judges can still see you and see your facial expression as well. So continue with the good presentation. When she was in the egg beater position, so more upright, I thought her presentation was very good. So normally a delay like this means that there are some base marks. Hopefully not on this occasion. Well, we haven't seen the scores yet, but she looks delighted with it. And she has got the full 19.45. Elements and artistic impression, pretty similar scores. Overall, a total of 163.3833. And a great start for Joanna Karb. Very well done. It means such a lot to these athletes when they know they've got a clean performance. And you could see that from her reaction.
Please welcome solo number 2 from Great Britain.
So representing Great Britain, we welcome Andrea Eliasson, 14 years of age. Her theme is Demon Slayer, and her starting difficulty is 20.9. The beginning of this routine shows her favorite character, the power of Nezuko, and the end will show more the kindness and love. So expect some change in the way she swims throughout this performance. Good height. Variety there with the flexibility moves as well. again showing nice height in the hybrids. And here we have the contrast. I enjoyed that performance from Andrea there. She was born and has lived her life in Great Britain, but she is half Japanese as well. But her training has been done in the UK, but assisted as well by some Japanese coaches. A lot of you will know the name Masaya Imura. She has helped with the choreography along with Tomoyo Kashima. And her coaching has been assisted by Asaka Hasakawa, who herself has won 8 world medals. And of course her very important club coach, Rachel Harris. Joining her though on poolside will be Rosie Barrington and Sophie Steingard, both past swimmers and now compete in Masters as well. So as I say, this is all about her favourite character, and she wanted to show her story, Nezuko, and show her strength, her heightened abilities and increased resilience. She won gold in the youth solo at the national age groups and has worked particularly hard on drilling those R7s, so rotations level 7, which have become very important in the sport of artistic swimming over the last year. She did swim at the European Championships, the Youth Championships in 2022, where she was part of the free combination team there. At home, she trains for the London Regionals Artistic Swimming Club, and that's where a lot of the hard work has done to get her to the standards that we are seeing today. So difficulty as assigned, and she gets the bonus as well for the apnea, so that means that she wasn't underneath the water for more than 58% of the performance, for an overall score of 168.4292, putting her ahead of the athlete from Germany. Overall, a very good performance indeed. I would have liked to have seen a bit more definition in the foot choreography to make it really show up a bit more. Competitor number 3, Laura Zainova from Bulgaria, 15 years of age. Her theme is Dancing with the Devil, and she starts with a difficulty of 20.55. She has really good speed on the rotations, just needs to be a little bit careful on the alignment. loving the presentation here. Loves to be creative, and that really came across in that performance. The theme, as I said, was Dancing with the Devil. The music, Creep by Tom Ellis and Water Tower from the Lucifer soundtrack, along with I Wanna Be Evil by Eartha Kitt. She really does like to be creative, and that came across in that performance. It was good artistry. Sometimes on the elements, she needed to be careful of her execution a little bit. But I love the fact that she really went strong on the artistry as well. And at the end of the day, this sport is called artistic swimming. So that's what we like to see. Remember, as long as they aren't underneath the water for more than 58% on those hybrids, then they do get a bonus of 40 points, which helps towards the overall score. And we have that so that it improves the artistry. You get more of the transitions, you get more on the presentation side, but it also protects the athletes as well, because it's a very, very difficult sport, and we certainly don't want anybody passing out because they're underneath the water for just too long, especially as they come up through the age groups. So this has been brought in for age groups, for youth and for juniors, but not currently for senior level. She loves to crochet when she's not training, and actually made 25 for the team recently as a surprise. And she loves her photography as well. Overall, a very creative young lady. Coached by Galina Andanova and Irina Dimitrova, both of whom helped with the choreography as well. What a great costume. Really living the Dancing with the Devil theme. Athletes have to be up so early in the morning to prepare for these competitions, make sure their hair is done correctly with gelatine, make sure it doesn't fall over their face. But she really has gone to town with the overall theming, which is great to see. As I say, she started with a difficulty of 20.55. Great Britain currently leading the way, but it is very early days. As well as being artistic and getting the transitions to weave it all together, of course the elements have to have different movements from the different families, so from the rotations, from the thrusts, from the static moves, which we call airborne weight, and also the flexibility as well. When the new rules came in last year, there was a lot of rotations. It's good to see that that's changing. So slight reduction on the difficulty, but very high score on the artistic impression, as I thought they would be. Lower on the elements, and that's because of her alignment. So I'm hearing that it is element 3 that got the base mark, and it doesn't seem that she has the bonus for the apnea on this occasion. So that currently puts her into 3rd place, 123.1083. Next up, we have Sonia Boros from Hungary. She's 14, soon to be 15. The theme, Love in Portofino by Andrea Bocelli. Well, a beautiful choice of music with Andrea Bocelli. She won a silver at the Nationals in Budapest. She's coached by Sandra Rosa. I thought overall in the performance the transitions were good. The height could have been a little bit better. It's more important to get the alignment, but a little bit towards the end she started to lose the alignment as well. So that does start to affect the execution. What I liked was the way she used the water to create an effect. That was good. Quite a challenging piece of music to swim to, I think. And again, just to remember when you're in a back layout that the judges can still see you, and to still completely carry on presenting. It's a very common fault, not only at youth level, throughout artistic swimming generally. And I swim in masters, and it's something I have to work on all the time, so I know exactly how she feels. So her difficulty was 23.4. Currently in first is Great Britain, 168.4292. So when she isn't competing, she enjoys wakeboarding and certainly tries to swim at least twice a day. She has an interest in pathology and the human anatomy as well. There was was a very big competition in Hungary earlier this year, which was an open competition at their nationals, and a lot of competitors went along to that to just see how they would get on sort of fairly early in the year, give them experience before coming to a youth championships like this. But you can see from her breathing just how much it takes out of these athletes. In the water, you have to make it look as easy as possible, but it is an incredibly difficult sport. It's a really fun sport to try as well. And all these beautiful costumes that they wear as well. A lot of thought goes into the design of the costume along with the design of the actual routine itself. And terrific bond built up between the coaches and the athletes, always there to support each other. But a delay means that they are looking at the video, the technical controllers. So they must be wondering and looking to see if there has to be a base mark on one of the hybrids. If they look at the video 3 times and still can't decide, then it should always go in the favor of the athlete. So today, as we say, it's the preliminary events with 20 starting, and it's all about trying to get into the top 12 for the finals, which take place in a couple of days. Their compulsory figure score will also be added on to the score that we see today. Unfortunately, the difficulty has reduced to 12.45, and you can see just how much that impacts on the element score. But fairly consistent on the artistic impression, an overall score 102.1041, 4th place. She'll be a little bit disappointed with that, I'm sure, but from every competition you learn something and get fantastic experience as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome solo number 5 from Austria.
Mara Mata from Austria takes the stage, 5th to swim, just 12 years of age, be 13 later this year. Her music is Fearsome Flight. She's the youngest in their national team and swimming the solo for the first time internationally. Certainly very good travel around the pool so far. Those unbalanced move must be about 45 degrees. Nice on the flexibility. a very strong piece of music for her. You can see that she likes to be creative and express herself. She's swimming particularly well at such a young age. And to be here swimming the solo for the first time, it's not easy at all for these athletes. I felt that her alignment, she'll continue to work on that to improve it on the execution side. But I like the fact that she's trying to be creative. She doesn't seem at all happy with that performance. But as I say, from every time you swim, you learn something, and particularly at this young age, it's so important to swim in front of judges, in front of an audience. I don't know how some of them do it, to be honest. But you can see that she's not entirely happy with the performance. But she should be pleased with herself, the way she put the routine over. She loves Cirque du Soleil and she likes to express herself, and I could see that in the performance. She's certainly very committed to the sport, and I'm sure is very inspired by watching the Alexandri triplets from Austria, who have done very well indeed on the world stage, both in solo and duet. So hopefully they are watching and supporting. Coached by Gabriela Dokefeska, choreography by Helga Pongratz. A lot of hard work goes into these routines, and it takes a long time to actually develop it to the right level for the athlete. So her degree difficulty was 19.95. And because she did a hybrid right at the very end, she will get a small bonus for placement, because it was in the last 20 seconds when they are at the most tired. The apnea element is so important these days, because that is a bonus of 40 points, which is absolutely huge. There's only a leeway of 3 seconds when it comes to apnea, but you really don't want to miss out on those 40 points because it makes a huge difference. And also so important for the athlete and the coaches to stay as close to that as possible, rather than stretching these young athletes just too far. But wonderful facilities at this Olympic Aquatics Centre. They have staged so many events here over the years. I was reminded today that I was here in the early 90s as coach, the British coach at that time, when the European Championships were held here. But they've had World Series events, they've had the World Youth Championships, and always give very special hospitality. The local organising committee have, of course, worked extremely hard over a long time, along with European Aquatics, to bring this event to life. Huge number of people behind the scenes. Of course, you have the judges, the technical controllers, all of the officials, but also a large number of volunteers as well that give their time just to be involved and close to an international competition. Later this year, for a slightly older age group, we have the World Junior Championships. And then, of course, at senior level, it's a very packed calendar with European Championships and then the all-important Olympic Games for those that have qualified. I talk about alignment and height, and as I say, at this level, the alignment is far more important than the height, which will come with over time. But I think we are just about ready with the scores. So quite a deduction on the difficulty. Artistic impression, pretty good for a score of 92.7750. So no 40-point apnea bonus. And also I can see that she has a penalty of 1 point as well, which could be going slightly over time on the music or something like that. It's not clear exactly the reason, but that puts her into a 5th place.
Please welcome solo number 6 from Poland.
Competitor number 6, Michalina Nacek from Poland, the 15-year-old. Her theme is The Witch. The music, The Witch Hunters by Atle Orvason. Very good height and speed. Travelling well, but good to see the variation there with the shoulders out as well. Careful on the alignment. Keeping the momentum with the torpedo scull. Needs to get those rotations round. Good height. A very strong performance there from Michalina. I enjoyed that performance, and the theme of the witch really came across. Very expressive on the arm movements and showing good flexibility on the arms as well. A couple of times on the feet, on a couple of the hybrids, I wasn't sure whether her feet were supposed to be pointed or flat because of the choreography that was with it. So I do think that needs to be made a little bit clearer. But she is such a strong contender, a finalist in the World Youth Championships in this pool last year. Coached by Ksenia Yadlskaya. She looked very mature in her performance. You can see that she has more experience than some of the other competitors. She chose the Witch Hunters music because she enjoyed the movie very much. And I think the artistic judges will have appreciated some of the arm movements and the difficulty within that as well. When it comes to the difficulty of the hybrids that the technical controllers are looking at, that is all in the element score. That doesn't come into the artistic side at all. Originally, when the rules came in, the rotation level 7 was the move that everybody was trying to do. So a change of direction on a 360 rotation, backwards and forwards, because it was a high degree difficulty. The rules had to be adapted just a couple of months ago because they needed to get more creativity into the hybrids and make sure that all of the families were being used. So they've restricted the amount of rotations that they are able to do on the R7 to 3. But within that you can get variety anyway. I think it's a really good move forward. I still think there are a few too many rotations, but we're sort of in a learning curve at the moment. It's taken a year to embed the new rules. There have been so many positives along the way, with the difficulty not being subjective anymore. But I think we still need to continue to tweak those rules a little bit to keep the artistry as well. And I know everyone involved in the sport would agree with that. But a huge amount of good work has been done over the last year, and it's been a steep learning curve for coaches, for athletes, for every one of the officials on the pool side as well, along with the commentator as well. So Great Britain still currently in the lead with 168.4292. And she is delighted. She has the difficulty of 30.35 assigned. That is the third most difficult routine that we're going to be seeing today. 214.3959. What an incredible score. And absolutely well deserved. She got the 40 points bonus as well for the apnea. So Poland very much taking first place, having pushed the difficulty up to a high of 30.35. As we move on to Georgia, Nita Natabadze, born in 2000. Be careful on the alignment. Good height at the end though. Well, very nice interpretation from her there in that routine, a 28.9 difficulty. She had very good speed in the rotations, but at times I felt that the speed was too much for her. She didn't quite have the control that's necessary to get a very high execution score. Coached by Lily Boccaria and Manana Chanceliani. As I said, the theme was Wolves. The music, Here Comes the Wolves by Lola Blanc. The music, she likes to use it because she thinks it brings out the artistry in her. Her best score to date is about 182 points, which she got at the World Youth Championships last year. She finished 18th on that occasion, but was so delighted with the score that they still congratulate themselves on it. So I wonder what she can do here. She will certainly want the full assigned degree difficulty. But when you get speed into the rotations, it's very easy to cut one short. You can over-rotate, that's not a problem, but you absolutely mustn't under-rotate because you won't be credited with the difficulty for it. And that's when the base marks come into force. If you weren't watching earlier, the base mark means that the difficulty for that hybrid drops to a 0.5 instead of perhaps a 4.95, which was originally assigned. But again, another stunning costume bringing out the wolf theme. Very nice indeed. I'm very impressed with the athlete. But any delay isn't a good sign. But doesn't necessarily mean there are base marks. So 28.9 was her difficulty. That's what we want to see. And also the 40 points for apnea as well, to make sure they were within the very new guidelines on that. Really, it's a test this year, the apnea, to see how it goes, and most federations have been encouraged to implement it in their own championships for junior and youth. And then they will look at it again later this year and decide whether the percentage, which for most of the routines is around 50%, whether that is correct for the amount of time that they're spending underneath the water. The difficulty has been reduced. 131.5647. So that will be a disappointment for her. Three base marks in that performance, 4, 5 and 6. And that puts her into 4th place. So they will have a look at the video and they will speak to the technical controllers afterwards, I'm sure, to understand exactly why. Kuba Siren from Sweden is up next, the 14-year-old, 8th to swim. Her theme is dance. The music you'll probably recognize, Sing, Sing, Sing. Good musicality, picking up on the accents of the music, but alignment was slightly off on the hybrid. Well, she started with a difficulty of 24.6. I think the information I was given wasn't quite correct. I don't think it is dance and sing, sing, sing. I think that was more a horror stories type theme. Overall, what I did like was the explosive height that she would get. She has good flexibility, but I would have liked to have seen her have a bit more time to show that, so that the hips were right up at the surface. And as she moves through and continues to build in the sport, I'd like to see her working more on her presentation to pull the audience more into the swim. She almost looked like she was swimming it for herself rather than projecting herself to pull in the audience and the judges into the performance. She looks quite shattered though after that swim. She's a Swedish youth champion and loves fashion as well, so I'm sure she had a say in the design of her costume. Coached by Anna Nosova, but again, doesn't look entirely happy with the performance. She put her hardest hybrid right at the beginning, which was a 6, which is sensible because that's when they have the most energy. And she got her fully assigned difficulty, which is great news for her, 169.8042. Good on the elements, but down on the artistic impression, which I felt as well. So that's something she can really build on. But that puts her into second place behind Poland and ahead of Great Britain.
Please welcome, so number 9, Turkey.
For Turkey, the 9th to swim, we have Selin Hürmerik, the 14-year-old. Her theme, the final dance of the last leaf in autumn. The music, Total View by Inon Powerful choice of music there, but I think that she did cope pretty well with it overall. She's very light in the water, so fast music generally does suit her. She has beautiful long legs, which sometimes can be hard to control, but overall I thought she did pretty well with that. Sometimes the alignment was slightly out, but really nice shape and form in the water. She did very well on the thrust level 9 right at the start of the performance, showed good height on the thrust before stopping above the knees and started really being quite explosive as well. I really liked the idea of the theme of the final dance of the last leaf in autumn, and that is beautifully portrayed on her costume as well. Coached by Okyu Hallis and Anna Vanterina Sabas, who did the choreography as well. She's certainly an athlete who is very capable of getting the powerful moves into it, and she gets the extension. Just sometimes with her speed she just misses out on the alignment a bit. So say her difficulty was 24.8, so that is what she will be hoping to see, along with obviously a good artistic and element score as well. As we almost reach the halfway stage of the competition today. You can see the next athlete be waiting just behind the scenes. It's always hard to wait in the kiss and cry area, but also for the athlete waiting to perform as well. About 15 minutes before the performance, they have to go to a call room, and from there they then wait to walk onto the stage. They will visualize that moment many, many times. And an excellent score there of 192.1418. Slight deduction on difficulty, but she has got the apnea bonus, so that puts her into second place. Very strong on the artistry as well at 75.35. Many congratulations. So second place behind Poland and ahead of Sweden. Anastasia Heck from Switzerland, the 10th to compete out of 20. Her theme is tango for the 14-year-old. Nice flexibility move into the night. Very slightly off alignment there. Well, I feel quite exhausted after that performance. Very powerful music, which really can stretch the athletes. Obviously, the athletes have a lot of decision as well when it comes to the music choice, and some prefer to swim more gracefully, some powerful. She obviously likes to show her strength with the powerful music, but sometimes I felt that affected her overall presentation throughout the performance, because there was so much being put into the routine. Right at the beginning, she did that thrust level 9 move that we all like to see. Important to get as much height as possible and then stop above the knees. Otherwise, the stop above the knees doesn't look quite as effective. She is a multiple youth champion across lots of different events in Switzerland, including duet and team as well. But the judges liked it, and she had her fully assigned difficulty and the apnea as well. 197.1750 and into second place. So really going for that powerful music really did work for her. Giada Papa getting a wonderful reception here. All of her teammates are here to support her. The 15-year-old, the music she's swimming to, Who Wants to Live Forever, a Queen song, but by the Italian singer Giorgio. A beautiful choice of music, the theme, immortality. Her starting degree difficulty, 26.1, and she certainly could not have had a better reception. Has a big team behind her. Silvia Dapolis, choreography by Sarah Rotondi and Raffaella Boldi, but also helped by Giorgia Mazzariello and Carolina Camardella. So she certainly has, as I say, that support. She wanted to choose that music. She felt it was important to live every day as if it's your last. won the youth championships in Italy. She's someone that doesn't really get very nervous. She just gets excited to perform, and that certainly came across right from the beginning of the routine. The hybrids were well controlled. She brought out the musical accents in the music, which is good, and something that the artistic judges look for. Beautiful extension of the feet as well throughout the performance. She really does move very fast and easily in the water, very fluid performance, and that also helps to make the hybrids look very controlled as well. The athletes competing, as you can see, in a diving pool here in the aquatic centre, which does make things challenging for them because there aren't any lines on the bottom of the pool, and sometimes it's very easy to lose your way because there isn't a deep and a shallow end. So when you're spinning around and doing those rotations, as I say, it's very easy to lose your way as to whether you're facing down the length of the pool, which is I think about 21 meters, or across the width of the pool. So a slight drop on the difficulty and no bonus, I'm afraid, for apnea. 139.7062. But the control showing on the element score. 7th place.
Please welcome solo number 12, Spain.
The athlete from Spain, Daniela Velázquez, 15-year-old. Spain have always done very well in youth and junior competitions, while seniors as well have a very good foundation in the country for artistic swimming. Her music and theme is a Black Panther, and she starts with 29.4 on the difficulty. Swimming very close to the judges on that side of the pool. And now moving across to the other panel. Well, a very confident performance there from Daniela Velasquez. Spain, as I say, always very strong, whatever the level of competition in the age group. They won 6 medals at this European Youth Championships back in 2022. It's the first time as a soloist in an international championship. And, well, you certainly wouldn't have known it. It was an accomplished performance. She really swam not only down the middle of the pool, but across to both panels of judges. And you could see her really looking at them and pulling them into the performance. Spain took a bronze at the World Youth Championships in this event. On that occasion, it was Paula Marcipa that was swimming. Coached by Sandra Montes and Virginia Villalba. Choreography by Alba Romera and Maria Campos. All she came here to do was to enjoy the swim, and hopefully that is the same for a lot of these athletes. That's what it should be about in a youth championships. Enjoy the swim, get the experience, and go away with happy memories and proud of the fact that you are here representing your country at such a young age. 15 years of age, when she's not swimming, she enjoys dancing and playing board games as well. Oh, and straight into first place, 216.8125. She has the full difficulty and the full bonus as well. Very, very strong on elements and artistic impression. She just came here to enjoy the swim. Well, I'm sure she is enjoying those scores. Many congratulations. Great to see Estonia swimming here. Alexandra Orlova representing the country. 13 years of age. The theme is a warrior with a tender heart. And her difficulty is 21.95. Very solid on the hybrid. movements are nice and fluid. Could maybe be just a little bit more definition. Nice speed there. And she presented it overall very nicely indeed. Difficulty 21.95. She wanted the theme of warrior with a tender heart because it's very similar to her character, an open soul and fighting character as well. I thought she gave herself time to do the hybrids, which is really good to see. Again, a lovely design on the costume as well. Her hobbies. She loves to draw and to dance, and apparently she loves to sleep as well. That just goes to show how much hard work that she puts into her training. That sleep is so important to her. She started at the age of 7 and did particularly well in the figures in the Hungarian Open this year, and she finished 12th. And when you think that was out of 225 athletes, that was quite some achievement. And she was 9th in solo as well out of 38. Coached by Anastasia Rudkowski, who did the choreography as well. So just at 7 more to compete today. And then later on, we have the free duet preliminaries as well. So remember, her difficulty was 21.95. And of course, we'll be keen to get the additional 40 points for the apnea as well. Certainly all of those in the top 7 places have the addition, and that makes obviously complete sense because it is a large number of points. So 58% of the routine is the maximum under the water. 3 seconds leeway on that, which isn't much, but it's the first year that that's been included. So big reduction on the difficulty, unfortunately. She has got the apnea though, but the difficulty affecting the element score, 123.3584 and 10th place. Disappointment for Alexandra, but good to see her competing here. So we welcome Magdalena Rysikova from Czechia, the 15-year-old. She will be swimming to the music of Torne Don la Vida. Difficulty of 23.6. really trying to push the height. Just losing the alignment slightly. Over backwards on those hybrids there. There is a small amount of leeway on that, but not much when it comes to the execution. Well, she swam to that music because it's the favourite song of her coaches. I mentioned about the execution, and a vertical should be a vertical. If you're too far falling over your back, it can affect the score quite a bit. And on the unbalanced moves, you have to be within a cone area. So again, there is an allowance, but you have to fit in within the regulations that are allowed. I felt overall that some of the transitions could have been worked on, and I'm sure they will be as she continues to work on the sport. It almost looked like she was waiting a little bit sometimes between the hybrids, but that's the real opportunity to do something that really is special for the artistic judges as well. Quite a lot of strapping on her to protect those shoulders. She qualified to swim in this event in March this year. She doesn't overall like being the centre of attention and people watching her. So it's really quite special that she has the confidence then to come out here and be the soloist. And well, we thoroughly enjoyed watching. Coached by Daniela Sipova and Martina Novovilaska. A difficulty of 16.9 for a total score of 107.1772, so it doesn't have the apnea bonus. It puts her into 12th place. Difficulty was reduced from 23.6.
Please welcome solo number 50 from Cyprus.
So from Cyprus, the 15th soloist, Artemia Philippou, just 13 years of age. The theme and the music is feeling good. An easier routine, a difficulty of 10.5. Trying hard to put some difficulty into that hybrid with the flexibility move. Needs to be very, very careful though on that alignment. Well, it's so great to see Cyprus being represented here. Overall, she had good flexibility. I think she was getting a little bit confused as to where she was in the pool because she came down away from the stage a little bit and then immediately went back up to the stage, which probably didn't show up quite as much on the screen. And it's very, very difficult in a diving pit, as we were talking about earlier. As she continues to practice the sport, her alignment will come, and then they can start increasing the difficulty as well. She's also a gymnast, and I think that's where her flexibility comes from. And they've been working on this solo for about 2 years, but have made lots and lots of changes because of the new rules. She's getting more and more experienced. She did compete at the World Youth Championships last year. Coached by Jana Peneva. And at the end of the training sessions, apparently they like to throw her into the water fully clothed. So I should think she is absolutely delighted about that. So her difficulty was 10.5. And it's really good that she's not being pushed too much above the level that she is capable of doing. And as she continues to improve and work on the solo or start a new solo, then they can add a little bit more difficulty into it as well. But she looked like she enjoyed the performance. So quite a long wait for the scores. Her highest degree difficulty was a 2.6, which was her third hybrid. But most of them, she didn't have the rotations that we've seen in some of the other routines. And that is absolutely fine. It just means that the difficulty assigned to the performance won't be as much. Overall score 57.8207 into 15th place. It was always going to be hard for her with a lower difficulty to start, but also did get the base marks on most of the hybrids as well. Swimming in front of the home crowd from Greece, we have Izmini Karavazili, the 15-year-old Her theme is doll. She starts with the second highest degree difficulty, 30. I like it when an athlete chooses a theme that is very obvious without the artistic judges being told what it is. Obviously they don't hear the commentary, and I think it is great when somebody enters the water and immediately you can see that, like this theme was the doll, and really nice choreography there for the coaches Anastasia Goodseva and Natalia Chineska, both of whom do a huge amount of great work on behalf of Greece artistic swimming. The music, if you enjoyed it, was Forefathers. Let's say the second highest degree difficulty at 31.85. The highest difficulty was 6.75 on the second hybrid, and then went slightly easier towards the end. I'm sure Ismini is very inspired by Evangelina Platanioiti, a senior swimmer who is the world champion in the technical solo. She won that in Doha this year. She was part of the team that took a second place in the free combination at the World Youth Championships. They were also held in Athens last year. But if she has her full assigned degree difficulty and she has the 40-point bonus for apnea, she could do very well here. Just 4 more solos to swim. Can't do my maths here. She presented it really well and certainly portrayed that theme. It was a very lively and strong performance. Greece being fabulous hosts here. The athletes arrived a few days ago for training. Now we'll be excited that the competition has finally begun. athlete from Spain.
Elements, 82.0.
Okay, so a difficulty of 23.8, so that is reduced, but she's still lying third. Very good on the artistic impression as expected, and she has the apnea. 199.1563 is her total score.
The degree of difficulty went down to 23.80. The total score is 199.15.
So they will be looking at the video to see why the base mark was there, and of course can rectify it before the finals, assuming that she is going to be in those finals. From Slovenia, Nica Krivek, 14 years of age, nearly 15. She's chosen a Greek celebration for her theme. A great choice, I'm sure, to acknowledge the hosts. .3 is her difficulty. Now needs to keep the energy in the performance. The music I felt was quite strong for her, and that makes it difficult on the artistic side. I liked her presentation, especially when she was showing the egg beater movement. She does look really lovely in the water when she's got her shoulders out, but did tend to spend quite a lot of time on her back as well between the different hybrids, which probably would have been picked up by the artistic impression judges. Her alignment on some of the hybrids was good. She just needs to absolutely make sure she nails it on every single one. Certainly has good flexibility. She does love the music. Yeah, I thought it was a very nice piece of music. It's very happy and uplifting. She's been doing artistic swimming for quite a while, but she hasn't got that much international experience. So it's great to see her competing here in Athens. She is the national champion in figures, solo and team as well. Coached by Anya Zorko, choreography by Nika Selijak. she does like to read and remember fun facts about history, as well as coordinating all of her swimming outfits when she trains as well.
As a fun fact, Lisa is always aware of her swimming outfit.
So it was very nice that she did choose a Greek theme for this competition. So obviously put a lot of thought into the music choice. So the starting point for difficulty is 17.3. Great experience being here competing at this European Youth Championships, and hopefully we will see a lot more of her in the future as well, as she moves up into the junior ranks and then seniors. Juniors have their World Championships later this year. It's being held in Lima in Peru. Everybody very much looking forward to that as well. And I'm sure all of these athletes will be closely following all the performances at the Olympic Games in Paris. The artistic swimming is in the second week of the Games, and it should be very thrilling indeed. A lot of the countries have made their selections, and we're just awaiting the last few. It's a very slight reduction in difficulty, not much at all. Artistic impression of 64.5 for an overall total of 151.1125 and a 9th place. Great to see that she got the apnea bonus as well.
The routine had a base mark on the element at number 6, so the degree of difficulty went down to 40.80. The total score is 100.
So just the one base mark for Netza Krivic from Slovenia.
Please welcome solo number 18, Slovakia.
Mia Vilimova from Slovakia, the 18th competitor to swim out of 20. 15 years of age. The theme, troublemaker. She starts with a difficulty of 21.05. Very nice movement through the water. Generally showing good height, just needs to keep the core very tight. And keep the height sustained as well. going for extra bonus there with getting a travel into the hybrid as well. Another very dynamic piece of music. Overall, she's quite a strong swimmer. At times, she showed really good height, but then on a couple of the hybrids did tend to drop below the knees a little bit, which will be shown when it comes to the execution score. The element judges that are looking at the execution, they have a height chart that they have to follow. So if it's one leg out of the water, to get the maximum score, your hip needs to be right up at the surface. If you're round about the knee, then that is considered low if it's just one leg out of the water. But with two legs out of the water, if you're mid-thigh, that's a pretty good place to be for maybe a sort of a 7. But if you are only just on your knees, then from an execution point of view, it reduces to about a 5.5. The music she chose was called Trouble, hence the theme Troublemaker. Slovakia did well at the World Youth Championships back in 2023, so last year, when that was held in Athens. That was Sofia Strapikova. She finished 8th on that occasion. Coached by Monika Thuringerova and Jana Labathova, who did the choreography as well. Currently in first place is still Spain, followed by Poland, Greece, Switzerland, Turkey, Sweden, Great Britain in 7th, Germany and Slovenia, then Italy. They're the top 10. Remember, the top 12 go through to the finals, but we still have the compulsory figures scores to be added onto the free routine score. And then the final decision will be made. So a big deduction on the difficulty, a few base marks there. 128.8583 because she did get the 40 points for the apnea bonus, which has helped with that. 64.25 on the artistic impression. So depending on how she does on the compulsory figures, she's one that could be borderline between whether she does qualify for the finals or not. Penultimate swimmer. Preparing herself and walks out onto the stage. Very nice presentation to start. This is Leona Vanessa, 14-year-old. Her theme, The Light Within. The music, Carol of the Bells. 25.45 is her difficulty. And this is her hardest element. Very nice lift, good flexibility of the back. looking pretty solid on a lot of those rotation. Just slightly fell forward and anticipated the final move there. I do like the speed that she gets into it. Keeping the knees dry on those rotations, which is good. But a strong performance there. She chose that music because it works well with the new rules. It's called Carol of the Bells, and I agree with her on that. I think it's really possible to pick out the musical accents, which the artistic impression judges are looking for when it comes to the choreography and musicality. I thought that she was very expressive with the hands, and she did some fast transitions and rotations that really complemented the music. They chose the music Carol of the Bells with the theme The Light Within because they wanted to send a message that you should find joy and beauty and happiness in small everyday things to enjoy Christmas throughout the year, which is a rather nice sentiment, isn't it? 11th at the World Youth Championships last year. She scored 147.0438 then. So that's a line to look for, but of course they didn't have the apnea bonus at that time. She started as the soloist just a year ago and won the gold medal in the National Youth Championships last year for Croatia. She prefers the team, but was encouraged to do solo and found that she did excel in it. I thought she's a very nice soloist indeed. I like how expressive the hands were. Just a few times, a bit too long maybe lying on the back between the hybrids, but overall a nice performance. Coached by Ivana Lukak, the choreography by Ivana Radetek. Croatia have hosted a few World Aquatics, European Aquatics competitions along the way as well. So her difficulty was 25.45. Getting plenty of support from her teammates as well. It is quite hard on young athletes to leave the comfort of being in a team and be out here presenting and knowing that everybody is looking just at you. But she seemed to cope with that very well indeed, considering that she's only been the soloist for a year. And you can just see that she gets a lot of support from her coaches. Good score there of 176.5583, puts her into 6th place. Very slight deduction on the difficulty, but still a very good score across elements and getting the apnea bonus as well. What a great result for her.
The total score is 176.558. Presenting solo number 20, France.
So last to swim And that person is the current world youth champion in this event. Also taking the silver in the figures as well. This is Roman Temicek, 15 years of age, and it's modern violin music, a medley. And already showing how good her skill is. Fabulous start. Very clean on the hybrids. She has the hardest difficulty at 31.95. Very good timing with the music as well. She really likes that flexibility move. Well, an excellent performance there from Roman Temicek, as expected. The current world youth champion really going high on the difficulty of 31.95. She has really good clean lines when it comes to the hybrids. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more variety on those hybrids though, because she had 3 hybrids that started with a flexibility level 6 and 3 hybrids that started with an airborne weight 2, but didn't really have thrusts within the hybrids, which personally I do like to see thrusts as well. But there was absolutely no doubt about it. What she did very well indeed. And the music, the hip-hop violin medley, really did suit her. She chose the music because she liked the variety within it. The choreography is by Myriam Lignot, past swimmer from France. And she's coached as well by Celine Kuchlin. She's had a long wait being the last performer today. But she certainly is a real talent. She brought again out the accents in the music. Her hands were very expressive as well for the presentation side of things. And overall, it looked a very clean performance indeed. Very enjoyable to watch. So we still have plenty of competition to go. We'll be moving on to the opening ceremony and the duet preliminaries later on today. The team preliminaries tomorrow morning, followed by the figures session, and then a packed agenda on a Saturday and Sunday as well, with the finals of this event and the free combination final and then the duet finals team. So a very busy 4 days for the athletes, particularly the ones that are doing the solo and then coming back and swimming in the duet later today. They are certainly taking their time putting up these scores, which is a little bit concerning for her. She certainly won't want to get any base marks, and she will be wanting the additional 40 points for apnea as well. Score to beat, 216.8125 for Spain. Then Poland lying in a second place, 214.3959. And then Greece, 199.1563. Looking across at the technical controllers, I can't see them from where I'm sitting, so I've no idea if they are still looking at the video and checking it, but hopefully it won't be too much longer. But I can see that the referee has walked over there as well, but hopefully there's no issues here. And the score's about to come up. Okay, so it's into third place because the difficulty has been reduced, but she has got the apnea, so it's 199.3521. Just 0.2 ahead of Greece. Her last two elements were the base marks, so that has affected it, but scores will be wiped clean for the finals, so I'm sure that they will look to correct that for the final swim. So confirmation of the final rankings from the free solo preliminaries. Spain leading the way ahead of Poland, France and Greece. Scores there as well for Switzerland, Turkey, Croatia, Sweden, Great Britain and Germany. Remember, the top 12 go through to the finals, but we still have to add in their figure scores. And then towards the bottom end of the leaderboard, it's great to see some of these countries competing and getting the experience that they need here at this championship. So we will be back later today. We have the opening ceremony, which is at about 5:15 local time this afternoon, and then the free duet preliminaries starting at 6 o'clock local time. For me, Andrea Holland, it's goodbye for now.